And I tell you what, before I do anything, I wanted to just kind of introduce myself. I'm Jason Allen. I'm the Director of Teaching and Learning here at Shepherd. I'm also in the Education Department and coordinate the social studies areas or advise the social studies students. And actually, you may see Dr. Richie Stevens there. I'll let Richie introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Richie Stevens. I'm the Assistant Provost for Faculty Affairs, as well as the Dean of Graduate and Professional Studies, Professor in the Psych Department by discipline.
And I tell you, if we could real quick, could we just get an intro from everyone? If you want to just kind of tell us, name what you're going to be teaching here at Shepherd. And I guess I should just say that, welcome to Shepherd. And if you want to give us, if you have another thing that you do during the day, I know I adjunct here at Shepherd for almost 10 years. I taught K through 12, so it was kind of like I wore two different hats. If you want to kind of chime in on that, feel free. And Steve, you're actually right at the top, so let's start with you.
All right, my name's Steve Payne. I'm my doctorate's in nuclear engineering. I recently retired from my professional work, but I decided to go back, and I am also a licensed electrician, and I'm one of the electricians at Shepherd as well.
Oh.
So I'm going to be doing a little double duty here, but I'll be teaching in physics while we're here.
Nice. So, Lee, I think we got you next.
Yes, sir. I'm Lee Jones. I'm a flight instructor and designated pilot examiner for the FAA, kind of contracted to the FAA. I'll be teaching the new course in the business course called Introduction to Aviation. And I'm a graduate of Shepherd from many moons ago.
So, and then I think we have someone there. I have to say it says 204-6440. So if you could introduce yourself. If they can hear us. Might have signed out.
And unmute as well.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's a big one.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, I can barely hear you all, but my name is Carol Reed. I'll be teaching two nutrition classes at Shepherd. I retired faculty at Indiana State University. And I currently work as a dietitian for Fresenius Kidney Care down by Pensacola.
Oh, nice. So you don't live in the area right now?
No.
Oh, okay. Good deal. Oh, awesome. That's one reason why we do this.
Too cold up there.
So, well, I tell you what, again, I'm Jason Allen, and we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. Just feel free with adjuncting. There's a lot of times there's things that you may have questions about that you may have not heard, or sometimes getting a hold of people. Please feel free to chime in. If I don't know the answer, I know Richie does. And we'll kind of go over pretty much and if we don't have the answer, we can find out the answer. We're going to kind of highlight some of the things that you might want to know just coming into Shepherd, some of the nuts and bolts, some of where to find things. I will try to get into Brightspace a little bit tonight too. I have the links though for the training videos and our Brightspace expert. I have his email if we do need to contact him with any questions. So without any further ado, I am going to hopefully, pulled up the advising one. Sorry, I had to sign out and sign back in. I need to pull up the actual training. Again, PowerPoint, which should be right there. Sorry. All righty. Just to kind of go in here, I did my little intro. By the way, someone said they were an alumni of Shepherd. I think Lee did. I'm also an alumni of Shepherd College from the 90s and then went to WVU. But just to kind of jump into the basics here at Shepherd, a few things. If I was going to tell you one thing right off the bat, get familiar with our website. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that up right now. Our website is a wealth of information, and a lot of times any forms, questions, videos, things like that, you can find on here. And another thing, and this is something where if you have trouble finding it, just please let me know. A lot of the things that you're going to probably be trying to access are right here at the top. Brightspace is one. I know if anyone teaching online is definitely going to need a Brightspace spot. You can access your email right there. And another one that we're going to look at here in a few moments, it'll be Rail. Rail is where you enter your midterm and your final term grades. So those are the three big ones on the top. And of course, anything else, if you go to faculty and staff, there are tons of links to some of the groups and departments and all that can help our students and can help you. We're going to look at a few of these before the end of the evening. But the website is a great spot to kind of jump right in. Also, there's a directory there, the calendar, which let me pull that back up too. Sorry, I'm adjusting to this new computer a little bit. So if I seem a little awkward, I apologize. If you ever need to find anyone, there is a directory and you can just type it in right there. I will say this for the directory, it has faculty and employees. I don't think there's any students on there anymore. So yeah, they took all that off, didn't they, Richie? Yeah, so that's all gone. And if you need the calendar, it's right there also. And we'll talk about some key dates that you might want to get familiar with on the calendar. Rail Brightspace email. I'm going to ask this question and hopefully everyone says, yes, I'm set. Has everyone gotten a Rail email and Brightspace login?
Yes.
Yes, good deal. The Rail, I'm assuming everyone knows that's the one that's like 00000, and then your email and your Brightspace should be the same. Now I'm going to ask this other one. Has everyone been able to get into their email and their Brightspace? Good.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, I think we have someone coming in. Dr. Gash, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. The link wasn't working. There was something quirky with that prior Zoom link.
No problem. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
No problem. We actually just got started and we're recording it, so we'll catch you up. But I guess since we're going in there, what department are you teaching in?
Social work.
Awesome. So, well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
No problem. Can I just ask the question, have you been able to get your email, Brightspace, and Rail logins?
Yes, all of that was done before Christmas.
Okay, so you've been able to get into everything.
Yes.
Awesome. We're going to talk a little bit about Brightspace here in a little bit, and if we have time, I'll show you the Rail login. You will probably only use Rail at midterm and then for your final grades because you don't have advisees or anything like that. So that's the primary time you'll use that. Another thing that you might want to look at on the website, again, departments are there. A big one is IT. Our IT department link is there. If you have any type of tech issues, that's who you're going to want to contact. Counseling, I'm going to show you where the counseling link, and we're going to talk about something called Beacon, which is student referrals. That's also on the website. And again, it's right there. I'll send this PowerPoint out to everyone if you want to check it out, but the link is pretty simple. It is shepherd.edu. And finally, Rave alerts. Are most of you, I know some are teaching online, are most of you actually teaching here on campus?
I am.
You are, Lee? Okay. I was going to say, just in general, and actually this is important even if you're not, I would sign up for something called Rave alerts, because if the campus is closed, you get an alert. It's just an alert system on your phone. I'll show you, actually, it should be right on the website here. Let me just type it in. I don't, is Rave, I have to admit, there it is right there. You can sign up, log in. I believe the sign up, Richie, you might be a little bit of an expert on this more than I am. You can just do the sign up right here, correct? And Rail.
Yeah, you should be able to. I did it 25 years ago, 20 years ago.
I did it like 12, but
so I'm not sure.
I will tell you, whenever you do the Rail or the Rave alert, if there's snow days, if there's some sort of really bad weather, we've always joked, there was one time there was a bear running across campus, and there was a Rave alert going out with that. It's for that. It's for real serious, usually issues. It's not like there's a football game coming up this Friday or Saturday or anything like that. It's for serious stuff. I would still do it only because if the campus is closed, the school's closed. So that's something that you might want to know. And of course, we post it on the website and you'll get an email, but the alert is nice to get. So I would.
May I break in on that real quick?
Yep.
The question with two parts here.
Mhm.
So with our ability to do online kinds of things right now, if we get a snow day, is there the option that we can go, okay, let's just go Zoom? and do with our class. And I know I've heard somewhere, well, if it's snow day, it's closed, no class, but it seems like if we can, and we've used that before, has there been a policy change that we can switch over and do a Zoom class rather than just shutting things off?
We want to be careful about that because just because you have internet doesn't mean our students have internet, and then they feel penalized if because some of the bad weather will knock out power for students. And so we have to be really careful about expectation. Now, you could put something on saying, we're not going to have class, here's an asynchronous assignment that you need to get done by the next class or something like that. That's probably a better option, because then otherwise you may get students who are coming in and we've revisited that issue through COVID as well. And that's kind of where we are at this point.
Okay, related to that too, I noticed I put my syllabi together already, but part of it I took from previous instructors, and they have a website as part of the syllabus there. I just use that as well. Do we get individual personalized Zoom sites that we can use for our class in case we do need to do that over?
I was going to say, to chime in, you will have Teams, and you can use whatever you want for delivery. So if you have a Zoom account, I don't know, how does that work with adjuncts and Zoom sites, Richie? I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Well, we need to check, but we're trying to move people to Teams because that's what everybody has. And we have very few professional. And so the standard ones are only 40 minutes, which is not enough for a class. And so we don't want people finishing 10 minutes early every time, because there's no way you're going to get them back, even if you turn it off at 30 minutes and then say, everybody log back in for the next 20 minutes. We're encouraging people to use Teams for that purpose. Certainly talk with your chair about access if you're going to need that for classroom purposes.
On that same line, then, are we assuming all of our students have Office Teams as well?
They do have,
Yes.
Teams they do have, yes, because they have it from the login from our OneDrive or our Microsoft account.
Yeah, we have everything's Microsoft, so everything is built in for students as well.
Hey, I'm
That's
on
very good.
a
Okay.
Zoom call with my new college. Can I call you back? Okay, bye.
Okay, any other questions on that page? These were actually good questions. Okay, a couple other things, just to make sure. Your Rambler card, actually I have mine on right now. Has everyone had the opportunity to get their Rambler card?
Yes.
Good. You have
I
not?
have not.
You
I didn't even know about it till you just said it.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say, are both of you on campus at all?
No, sir.
I don't think you need to worry about it then. I'm seeing Richie shake his head, and I'm kind of thinking the same thing. You really need it for access to your classrooms and things of that nature. If you were going to try to go to the bookstore and get a discount, or go to a football game or a basketball game or anything like that, you might want it. If you ever do need to come in on campus, you're definitely going to want to get a Rambler card. You can actually, there's the link. You can fill out the forms and do a lot of it online now. But otherwise, I think if you're not going to be on campus, I think you should be okay. Lee, Steve, I think since it sounds like you're all going to be on campus, you definitely want to make sure you have your Rambler cards. But the big thing with them, after you've gotten your Rambler cards, which it sounds like you do need to get it renewed each semester, because you have to take it over to facilities and get it scanned with the classroom that you're going to be in. So I don't know, Lee, have you had a chance to get it scanned by facilities? And you know what room, have you tried it in the classroom you're going to be in and everything?
I haven't tried it in the classroom, but I tried it in the parking lot and it
Okay.
opened the gate.
I think that means they've got it going. So Steve, are you okay with it?
Actually, I have a staff badge, so
I
I
was
can
gonna
get
say-
into anywhere.
Okay, so you're good. That's the big thing with the Rambler card. So that sounds like everyone's kind of good to go there. The next one, again, this is probably not going to apply to you if you're not coming to campus. Faculty parking. Faculty parking's free. Just make sure that you've gotten your tag. Steve, I'm sure you're probably already covered there. Lee, I don't know. Have you got it? Awesome. Everyone else, I think, is probably not going to be on campus. I will just add the caveat, if you are teaching or any upcoming semesters, after 4:30, you pretty much can come in and park wherever you want to anyway. anywhere that you want to go to. But if you're coming in during the day, definitely make sure you have a parking pass. And if you're all visiting the campus and you were parking at a meter or anything like that, just make sure that you pay the meter because the prices are a little salty. Well, that was actually pretty straightforward there on the, sometimes the parking is the big hot topic, so. HR forms. That's another thing. Has everyone gotten all their HR forms, visited HR, got your W-2 or forms filled out and everything? Awesome. Some of this is related to full-time faculty. There's no insurance, retirement, or anything like that. But the big thing is make sure you have your forms. And I will click this real quick. You do have access, the pay stubs are all electronic. And I wanted to make sure you all could see that. When you go to the West Virginia Auditors page, as you can see here, you click My Apps, you have to set up an account. You should have access to look at all your pay stubs. I was telling the group that I was working with this morning, just make sure that you log in every month or so, even if you trust Shepherd with your pay stubs and everything you're getting, just because the account actually goes dormant and you have to have it reset and everything. I only know from experience on that one. But if you want to look at any of your pay, you are more than welcome to do that. And that is actually on the pay stubs there. A lot of this actually refers to just full-time faculty, so you don't need to worry about that.
Actually, something I just learned today looking at it, make sure you go to the bottom of the page, because if you want electronic W-2s, you got to click and tell them before November 1st of the year.
Oh,
So,
are you awesome? Thank you for saying that.
You
So,
bet.
and then let's go ahead here, and everyone good forms. Gosh, you're all straightforward. A lot of the stuff on here you do not need to worry about. I have to admit, I'm doubling up on using the same PowerPoint. I will just say this: you are not required to have office hours as an adjunct. Full-time has to have 6, but I would really strongly suggest if you can get there a little early and after, because you're going to have students who are going to want to talk. A lot of times you can do this virtually, but just be available for your students. That's the big thing. You don't have to worry about any type of advising or research requirements or portfolio reviews. But if we jump all the way down to here, course evaluations, each semester we do ask our students to do a course evaluation. Some of you, I don't know if everyone's teaching just one class or multiple classes. Please encourage the students to do these course evaluations. They'll get something on Brightspace. It really helps us, one, improve as a university, and also can help you improve as an instructor, or tell you what you're doing right and things that you might want to keep incorporating into your classes. I will say I'm guessing probably most everyone's taught in some capacity. Of course, course evaluation sometimes you have to take with a grain of salt. Sometimes the people who film out are the ones who either love you or may not love you. But take a breath, read them, and make sure that you're kind of getting what you can out of them. We do usually have to have a certain percentage of students completing depending on your class sizes and what you're teaching, but they'll be available to you at the end of each semester. And again, I would just encourage students to do that.
Can I back up again real quick?
Yeah, no problem.
So again, I put my syllabus out, but I don't have an office. So I left that blank and I just said, email me if you want to get together.
That's
because I don't know of any place to get together. Saying we'll set up a time when the classroom's open, we'll go and meet.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. One of the things we found in evaluations, especially for online students and for those of you who are teaching online, you probably have already had this, is that email and being clear about how and when you're going to respond to students. We are finding that students are feeling like sometimes their faculty are not responsive to their questions, and it's not ones like I sent it at 11 p.m. and you haven't responded by 1 a.m. It's constantly saying things like I've waited 2 days for a response. And so I think adjuncts who don't, if you don't have offices and you're not around, a lot of students will just like to pop into the full-time faculty, and they're not going to have that opportunity. So being clear with your expectations about, how and when you're going to respond, or if you do want to set up, team hours, you may talk to the students, say what times might work for you, things like that. So I do encourage you, because your point is well taken, is that sometimes the students will just walk by to ask a question and they're not going to get that opportunity with you in the same way unless you're a little bit before class. And sometimes your classrooms are being used right before you're instructing, so you may only have the hallway to sit in too. So keep that in mind.
And I was gonna say, and Steve, you know this from being on campus. I mean, of course, there's meeting at libraries, any of the source. If you're willing to do that with students, it's always, something you can do. And a lot of departments actually have, like, we have a room in education where actually it's an adjunct office. And our adjuncts use it all the time for meetings, and they just set up shop in there. And I'm sure that other departments actually have that option. And if you're teaching online, of course, it could be just popping in a little bit early online to talk to someone, or setting up a breakout room or something like that. And I think Richie actually alluded to this, but again, the communication aspect has been something, judging from evaluations, we've been, I don't want to say lacking in. It's just something that, we always pinpoint as something that we need to kind of improve upon. Emails, make sure you're on some sort of cycle as far as checking your emails in a timely manner. I think most people, I could be taking this for granted, usually do, I'll get back to you within 24-hour type thing. Also, if you're teaching online, again, you can set your class up however you want. One thing we've kind of talked about is if you have something due that's like on Sunday, all of us a lot of times procrastinate or wait till the last minute to do something. You might want to make sure that you're willing to check your emails on a Sunday if you have assignment due on a Sunday, things like that. So some of it's just meeting students halfway, but I think the big thing, and the only thing you really need to worry about on this whole thing with general responsibilities, is just be aware, get these course evaluations out, and being available for students. And I think the email kind of goes with that also. I would recommend, I know sometimes adjuncts like to use outside emails. I would recommend still using the Shepherd one, just because I think it just will save you headaches down the road and limit student confusion, because that's something where a lot of students will say, when they look something up online in the directory, it's not going to have your other email. It's going to actually have the Shepherd email. So I would really strongly suggest using Shepherd email.
And technically, we require that for any official work that you're doing for the university. The students are supposed to receive all of their stuff through their university. They can forward it. You can forward it to wherever you want, but should be using it for official business while you're an employee of Shepherd.
And I'm going to just mention, you're not obligated to be on any committees or anything like that, but still, especially within the departmental sense, I'm sure a lot of times departments, you're part of the team. And that's one thing I think with being an adjunct, again, something I did for 10 years, you're part of all of this. And you might want to, sometimes I think chairs will ask for your opinions or anything like that. I mean, you're welcome to, be a part of that. Some of the bigger committees you don't really need to worry about or anything like that, but sometimes, and Richie, I don't want to overstep here, but a lot of times our trainings and such, they're pretty much open for anyone, correct?
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention, is that while all of them are not, we don't stream some of them, but as adjuncts, you'll be part of the faculty listserv, and you're welcome to attend any trainings that you want to. Nothing is obligated, but anything, whether it's on campus or if we are streaming that, you're more than welcome to join in. So when you hear faculty, that means adjunct faculty as well. We don't distinguish between the two. And if we have to, for some reason, then we'll be very clear that this only applies to tenure track faculty or something like that. And that's rare.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is sometimes because I asked this question when I was adjuncting, sometimes you'll see some stuff come out with like some of the grant stuff and everything. I think those are specific for full-time faculty. And I think they've actually been talking aspects on that, but that's something. But yeah, Richie's right. It will specify on anything on faculty if it's that. So, but again, I think a lot of departments, I can speak for my department in education, adjuncts are a lifeblood. So a lot of times they're welcome to our meetings and things like that to sit in and kind of give feedback. And I know with a lot of departments, it's the same way. So any questions on any of that? Okay. I will warn you, I think you might have seen that. I'm going to go, and when the warning comes up on the Zoom that it cuts off, we might have to come in because I'm on the 40-minute plan. So that same link might come in there. I'll give you the heads up though. The teaching and day-to-day responsibilities of faculty here at Shepherd. I will pull this up. We have a lot of resources on the website. One is our Center for Teaching and Learning. And one thing you will see there is our syllabus template. And I'm actually going to go right to that right now. Hopefully, I'm going to take it that you have, I'm going to say it's down there. Has everyone at least seen a syllabus or a model of the class that you're actually going to be teaching, maybe a prior one or something like that? Like, good deal. One thing you will notice on that, there's a lot of standards, objectives, things like that. There are certain things that have to be on a syllabus. And if you ever need to see them, we have a syllabus template. I'm going to go ahead and open it up here. You're always welcome to use this template to kind of design your classes. This has the information that you are supposed to have on your syllabus. This is all for our accreditation purposes and just student information. It's here, but if you do have a specific syllabus that maybe you're using that's modeled after one from a prior class or someone else uses in your department, please make sure all the information that's listed on here is on your syllabus. Remember, I think it's self-explanatory, but it's the contract basically between you and the students as far as what's going to be done in the class. There's also things that we have to have, such as LEAP goals, which is something that our university aligns with the AACU. As you can see there, also there needs to be learning outcomes. They're all, and you've probably seen these on the syllabus, your attendance policy, and there are statements such as the accessibility support services. That's something we were talking about earlier this morning, where that statement has been updated. So you want to make sure that the statement you have on your syllabus is the most up to date, and it is from this template has it. So, and you're welcome to, I can send this to you when we do, I'll send a post email just so you have it if you want to make sure that it's on there. Also, there's a lot of other things on here, like we're going to talk about the modality type stuff, but before I do that, are there any questions on the syllabus? Lee, you're making your syllabus, correct?
Yes, that's right. Actually, I got some help, but it really is just a thumbnail outline of what the class schedule is. What's going to be discussed at each class section throughout the semester.
Okay.
So I don't have any of the other goodies there that you were showing.
I'll tell you what, I'll make sure when I send an email, it might come out either tonight or early tomorrow morning. I'll make sure that I send the syllabus template out. And if you want to go through and make sure you have everything, we can definitely do that.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
No problem. And everyone else is good with syllabus. You've seen one, gotten organized. Good deal. One thing I would also, please give it a read. I catch this even on my own. Like you might see some references to something called Sakai on some older ones. Sakai was our old learning management system. You want to clean that up. There's just things, a lot of times people just copy or just move syllabus through and don't always check the jargon, and some of that jargon is outdated. So that is that. Let's see if we can pull that up. There is a checklist. Like I say, make sure that you're checking all that. And these LEAP goals, that is something that we have to do as a liberal arts college. Make sure they're on there. If you have a prior syllabus, there's probably already something mentioning which ones are being aligned, but you can go there. And again, Lee, I'll make sure that that's sent out.
Great.
Couple of the terminologies that you might hear. I'll jump back to the calendar here in a minute, but a lot of times there's different ways for periods that you'll hear students talk about. We have an add period, we have a drop period, and then we have withdrawals. You will probably have students who will contact you about dropping a class. The time frame for dropping a class is usually within the first few weeks of the semester. And actually, why don't I just go up to the calendar?
It's the 13th. I looked
Oh,
it
look
up.
at you know it. There you go. The last day that a student can drop is the 13th. And just